4 o'clock right now. Thank you. Okay. A motion on the minutes. Move seconded. All those in favor, contrary, carried. This for everybody's note. Look at your calendars right now. March 7. The planning committee meeting is canceled for that, and we will have a longer meeting on March the 21st in this very council chambers. Okay, so stroke off March 7th, okay, on your calendars. And the first item is an application by D8 Architects and Planners for temporary commercial use permit at 8991 Charles Street. We got Mr. Craig and Ashley Kwan, and we have a resolution on it. Anything to add to this? Anything to explain to us?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have anything further to add to the report. This is an application for an extension of a temporary use permit that has been previously issued by council. This would allow the continued operation of a car rental service to store rental vehicles on the subject site with access restricted to employees of the company only. Landscaping has been installed as per the original temporary commercial use permit and is in good conditions. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions? Carol?
Yeah.
Moved and seconded, it's on the floor.
Thank you. So, do we have any plans for that property?
Through the chair to Councillor Day, the OCP designates the property for higher density uses.
Can you guys bring the mics closer to?
Sorry.
Thank you.
The OCP designates the property for higher density commercial uses. Nothing is planned at this point in time, so this is a temporary use.
Yeah, so might as well use it while it's sitting empty. Yeah, all right, thank you.
Anybody else? All those in favor? Contrary? Carried. Thank you very much. The next item is a housing agreement for affordable housing bylaw 10437 to secure 156 affordable housing units, housing agreement and market rental housing, and a bylaw 10438 to secure another 120 market rental housing units and housing and agreement there, and to secure 17 market rental housing units in phase 1 and in phase 2 of the property development located at 8671 31 and 8771, 8831, and 51 Canby Road, and 8791 Canby Road, and 3600, or 1000, I should say, Sexsmith Road, and 3480, 3500, 3520, and Sexsmith Road, etc. And the recommendation is to approve. And we have Oren here. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have nothing further to add to the report at this time. I'd be pleased to answer any questions of committee.
Okay, and we have the applicant on if we have to ask the applicant a question. Motion? Move? Seconded? Okay, any further discussion on it? Oh, Michael, sorry. Yep. Thank you. Go ahead. You're on.
Through the chair, just a question I have is, would any of these buildings be a good candidate, or have you had discussions around perhaps not having these hooked up to fossil fuel like natural gas lines? I know there's other municipalities, there's a municipal group that's actually meeting and discussing this very thing today to get gas lines out of future buildings. Because some of these are affordable units, housing, perhaps because they're rented and they're more affordable, maybe having less infrastructure might jive with having these be the first of that kind in the city. Any thoughts or work in that direction?
Through the chair, these buildings will be connected to the City Centre District Energy Utility. They will be providing on-site low-carbon energy systems, as was secured through the rezoning.
Okay, and follow up on that. What about appliances in the units? Like what about gas stoves or like gas appliances as opposed to gas heating for the whole building?
Through the chair, I can follow that up through the development permit. The applicant is on the line. I'm not aware of gas appliances being proposed in the buildings, but that can be followed up through the development permit application.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Carol?
Yeah, thank you very much. So I did vote against the Talisman project because I thought we could do better, but this is not about that. This is just the rental, the housing agreement between the rental provider and whatnot. So I don't really have any questions, just a comment that it would have been nice to have seen more than 156 affordable housing units in this massive development, but I will support this agreement.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, it's moved, it's been seconded. All right, call the question then. All those in favor? Contrary? Carried. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, the next is the Intercultural Advisory Committee Annual Report Program, and Peggy Chen and coming forward on it. Anything to add to the report?
To the chair, no additions to the report. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Okay. Any questions? Michael?
Just a quick one. Has there been anything added to the work plan this coming year in response to the recent adoption of the protocol or the definitions, and maybe how that it could be worked or modified? We just adopted the definition package. Maybe how that gets infused into the protocol. Any new developments?
Through the
Rosie,
chair to
maybe you can
Councillor
answer
Wolf.
that one.
Yeah. Part of the REACT's work program is to support and promote initiatives that address incidents of racism and hate and discrimination in the community. So the protocol and the adoption of the terminology align with the work program of the REACT.
Okay, good.
I did bring it up at the last meeting as liaison to make sure that all documents would be discussed somewhere down the road and shared with the committee, and staff will do that accordingly. Okay, any other questions or comments? It's a good committee. We need to rely on them a lot more, in my opinion. Andy, sorry. Thanks for waving.
It's okay. Thanks. And through the chair, well, thanks for the report. Just a quick one on the diversity symposium. It's been virtual for a few years out of necessity, obviously. And I think there's some advantages to having that way. Do you know if it's going to be a hybrid version going forward, maybe in person and virtual, or what?
Through the chair to Councillor Hobbs, what we heard from feedback from last year's symposium was that there was a mix of participants interested in continuing the continuing the virtual model or going back in person. So at the time, staff is planning this year's symposium through a hybrid model with at least one in-person session.
Okay, great. Yeah, I understand you had greater participation, so there are advantages to it, right? Yeah. Thank you.
You good? Okay. Anybody else? Okay, motion on the floor to be approved. Seconded. All those in favor, contrary, carried. Thank you. Okay, good work. Okay, the next item is the Food Security and Agriculture Advisory Committee Report Program. And Stephen is on, and it's for approval as well. Anything to add?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nothing to add. Happy to answer any questions.
And I'm sure we have some questions here. None? Carol? Okay. I love her toy, you know. We're getting better. We're getting better.
There we go, we're on. Well, I'm really impressed with the action items and the long list of duties that this committee has taken over. And I have to say that this is probably one of the most important advisory committees because we get so many, dumping on agricultural land complaints. And I just want to say thanks to the hard work that the committee has put together and how concisely they do the reports and provide them to council. So thank you.
Anything else? Motion then? Moved. Seconded. All those in favor, contrary, carried. Managers. Oh, there we go. Good.
Through the chair, just one update regarding the regular inflationary adjustments of amenity contributions. So in 2018, Council amended the OCP to identify amenity contributions that would be adjusted every 2 years to first take effect in 2019. In accordance with the OCP, the amenity contributions are adjusted at the end of this month. So they'll be adjusted then. Planning and amenity contributions are adjusted according to the Consumer Price Index and the Building Construction Price Index, all published by StatsCan for institutional buildings. Staff will be publishing an information bulletin advising applicants of the new rates that do become effective at the end of the month very shortly. So, just wanted to advise.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we got a few more. You must have the OCP in your pocket.
No, not today, but thank you,
Not
Mr.
yet?
Chair. In fact, I want to provide an update on Metro 2050, the regional
Good.
growth strategy. So just want to let committee know that this Friday, February 24th, the Metro Vancouver Board will actually be considering third reading and final adoption of the Metro 2050, which is Metro Vancouver's regional growth strategy, or the updated one. As committee may recall, Council accepted the proposed regional growth strategy last June 30th, 2022, as part of the 60-day acceptance period. At the time, 2 of the 24 municipalities refused acceptance of Metro 2050. However, since then, the councils of Surrey and the Township of Langley have actually reversed that and have accepted Metro 2050. So with all 24 affected municipalities accepting Metro 2050, it's now possible for the board to consider third reading and adoption, and a minimum of 2/3 weighted vote is needed to pass the regional plan.
Any, I know Councillor Allen, the mayor, and myself will be there Friday for the Parliament Deputy. Carol? Did I not?
So, yeah, we had those two holdouts, Langley and Surrey. What was the, what finally changed their mind?
Well, through the chair to Councillor Day, so their minds were changed shortly after the election. So with the city of Surrey, there was no real reasoning. Both municipalities really focused on environmental related policies. I believe the city of Surrey was also looking at flexibility with their rural designated lands. The new council has reversed that decision. The Township of Langley, they've accepted it with a memorandum of understanding with Metro to look at their rural designated lands that have sewer extensions. So they haven't landed on any policy changes at this point, but they wanted to see if there'd be some flexibility with areas that have sewer versus areas with no sewer. Those details will be worked out later on. But with that, there is no policy changes to the current plan, and that's the reason why it's going to the board for acceptance on
Well,
Friday.
that's great work on the behalf of everybody, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, you want to jump in here?
Mr. Chairman, yeah. If you recall the discussions that we had, we brought you reports on this. In my opinion, both of the municipalities that were objecting were basically trying to water down the regional plan and make it less effective. And philosophically, some municipalities may feel that, less regional planning is better. And my assessment of their arguments at the time was that they were both looking to weaken the plan. And that's what we reported out at the time. So I think much of this is just political, certainly in the Surrey case.
To the chair, to staff, the 2050 growth plan, it essentially fits in with our OCP, is that correct? Or as part of our OCP amendment process, we'll update it accordingly for the amount of growth we were expecting?
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Liu. So with the board considering adoption, there's a 2-year window to update a regional context statement where we update our regional context statement to say how our OCP will fit in with the regional growth strategy. So right now, overall, it does fit in. We are updating our OCP, and when it is completed, we will also have an updated regional context statement that will address updated growth projections and basically outlining how our policies fit in with their policies.
Okay, and then that sort of dovetails with our housing needs assessment plan as well, right? So that if we're saying we're taking on a certain amount of housing over the next X number of years, that then the per year numbers that we're trying to achieve then flow from that, and then the efficiencies that we're trying to find within our own processes to approve that amount of building then falls into place from there.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Michael?
Sure if this is exactly on this item, but I think it might fall with it. So just recently we learned that Burnaby is planning a large composting facility just across the river, just north of East Richmond, Hamilton. It's like $180 million organic waste recycling facility. do we have any idea if, is that allowed? Is that encouraged by Metro Vancouver for that facility to be in the city of Burnaby itself? Would that take away from where they're currently sending their stuff in Delta? Is the size of what they're planning similar to what was Harvest Power, which ended up being quite a challenge and got pushed out of the community because of some of the impacts it was having or being felt? Any thoughts on that?
Mr. Chairman?
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
I don't have any details, so.
I think this is, man, when you push the button, this thing lights up like a Christmas tree. I think this is recent news, so I'm not sure whether John's aware. We have become aware of a proposal. It's currently being researched, so I don't have very much information I can give you today. It's mostly our engineering and public works folks, but also our law department that's looking.
Can we maybe get a one paragraph memo on their status?
Mr. Chairman, yes, you will
I
be
think we need to-
updated, but it won't be through John's area. It will be
Well,
through
whoever
other areas.
requests, okay, that we get that, and all of council get that. So I think it's important. Okay, anything else, Michael? Are you still on? Anybody else? Okay, thanks very much. Anybody else? What? Nobody. Okay, you want to adjourn? We're adjourned. Nobody?